Hey everyone, Jason here, digital marketing consultant, and in this Google Ads campaign tutorial, you're going to learn how to set up Google Ads for your e-commerce store in 3 easy steps. Timestamp table of contents in the description, along with another video that takes a much deeper dive. It's almost an hour long on Google Ads. Here we're going to 80/20 the process, starting off with keywords. So if you don't already have your Google Ads account set up, you can just go to ads.google.com and set that up for free, and you can connect it to whatever Gmail account you're using for your business. So the first thing we want to do is figure out what the heck our keywords should be for our e-commerce products. Now, when it comes to this, you need to choose one product at a time. You definitely don't want to try and have one keyword fit 3 or 4 different products. It really needs to be exact one keyword to one product. So just choose one product for now. You can go through this process for all of your different products. And the best place to find keywords is actually going to be a free tool by Neil Patel called Ubersuggest. So you can just search Ubersuggest in Google, Neil Patel will come up. And so all we need to do to start our keyword research is typing in the name of our product, because something that's cool about Google Ads compared to Facebook ads is it's what you see is what you get. So if you want someone who's looking for mountain bikes, headphones, or cameras, then you just type in mountain bike, headphone, or cameras. In this particular instance, we're going to be going through a mountain biking example. Let's say I just have an e-commerce store and I have some mountain bikes to sell. So I'm just going to start by typing in mountain bike. Go ahead and click search. Now you're going to get a lot of information here, but what we want to focus on is coming over to keyword ideas, because this is going to be the closest you can get to the keyword planner or a paid tool I'll show you in a second for free. One of the disadvantages is when you first start with Google Ads, you're actually not going to have access to specific search data inside of Keyword Planner. So this is going to be your best friend when you're just getting started. So as you can see here, we have mountain bike shop, trek, sale, mountain bike trails. So what we first want to do is start selecting keywords that represent our actual product, right? And then we're going to organize them into groups of 3 to 7 to be our ad groups. So for example here, mountain bike, okay, mountain bike shop, trek, I'd have to look that up. Obviously, if I had a mountain bike store, I should know what that is. So sale would be good, but I'm just gonna skip down to trails and electric. Well, if we don't sell electric mountain bikes, then we shouldn't be selecting the keyword with electric, right? So we want to be very, very specific with our keywords. Now, when it comes to trails, that's probably someone who's just browsing for trails in their area. So we definitely don't want to go for that keyword. That person's not looking to buy a mountain bike. So a good kind of gut check here with each keyword we look at on this list, and of course if you log in you're going to have a lot more options here and see a lot more data, is does this represent someone who's looking to buy right now? Not they might be interested or maybe they'll buy in a week. No. You're paying a lot of money for Google Ads. So make a list of people, of keywords that represent people who are going to buy right now, as in right here and now. Now, I'll let you go ahead and go through this. This is probably going to be the most time-consuming part of your process, and you just want to group your keywords into 3 to 7 clusters, and you want to try and start off with 20 to 30 total, right? So those are going to be your ad groups. So for time purposes, I'll let you scroll through this tool. There's a lot of other stuff in here, but 80/20, just focus on this. Something else that's really cool is you'll actually have a bunch of domains over here of sites that are actually already ranking for this keyword and other keywords. So you can always take a deeper dive into these keywords, but what's going to be very helpful is when it comes to writing our ads, we're actually going to want to come back here and see if anyone has actually been running ads on this particular keyword. So if I go back over to our search results, you can see the second one right here, bicycle warehouse. This is ranking organically. Bicycle warehouse, number 2. So it won't always match up. I think this search result, I'm using a VPN right now, so this is for Dallas. So it might be different because it's doing the whole United States. So Google does change things sometimes, but when we get into writing our ads, this is going to be invaluable when it comes to quickly figuring out what our ads should be. So once you have your keywords, you're really ready to jump into the Google Ads interface and get started with those settings. So let's go ahead and do that now. So when you first set up your Google Ads account, it's going to force you to make a campaign right off the bat. I highly recommend just blazing through that campaign as quickly as possible and then just hitting pause so you can actually take your time putting together a well thought out campaign. So inside of your Google Ads account, you'll want to click on campaigns here, not overview, and then you'll get this giant blue plus button. We can go ahead and click on that and create a new campaign. Now here, I really like having a full control over what I'm doing with Google because you've worked really hard for your money. So let's make sure that we do everything possible to make sure it goes as far as possible. So we'll click on create a campaign without a goal. All these other ones do is try and guide you through, and it automatically checks settings that you don't want. So we'll go ahead and click on search because that's what we're doing here, and we want website visitors. It's going to ask for your website URL. You can just go ahead and drop that in. It's not going to be a big deal. You'll be choosing the specific page your ads are driving traffic to later on in the process. So the first thing I'd recommend doing with your campaign name is go ahead and give it a name based upon the product. So this is going to be Mountain Bike PV Pro 7, and we'll make it number 1. So I'm just making up a name, but whatever your product name is, this is the easiest way to stay organized, and then just give it a number because you might make multiple campaigns for the same product. So here what we want to do is uncheck display network, and then we'll also uncheck include Google search partners. This just makes sure you only show up on this page. This is the only page we want to show up on, right? We don't want to show up anywhere else. So we'll go ahead and click on more settings here, set a start and end date. What I highly recommend doing is going ahead and you can either start it today, or I like to actually have it start the next Monday, so I get a full week, and then I'll go ahead and make sure that it only runs for 2 weeks. So I'll go Monday to Monday, and you can always come back and extend this expiration date, right? The reason that I recommend doing this for 2 or 3 weeks is because Google will just keep spending your money, right? So let's make sure if life happens, at least our campaigns will be paused eventually. So these two we're going to go ahead and leave alone for our search. Now, when it comes to your locations, this is going to be very important depending upon where you're shipping your products. So typically what you want to do is have one country per campaign. So if I was shipping to, let's say, the United States, Canada, UK, Australia, and the Netherlands, right? Well, I would need to make a campaign, pretty much all the same settings. The only thing I would change is the country. And this is just because different countries have different types of customers and different people. They're going to respond differently, and so you need to segment them. Now, if you were a local-based business, then you'd actually come in here and click on Enter Location. You'd go into Advanced Search, and then you'd go ahead and start typing in the neighborhoods and zip codes of your particular area. But here, I'm just going to stick with the United States. And then we want people inside the location, not interested in the location, because this is going to affect our shipping. Of course, if we were something like a restaurant or something like a hotel, then we'd probably leave it like this because people would be looking for our hotel. But we're not a hotel. We want to ship stuff. So we'll go ahead and leave it like that. Languages, typically that's okay. You just want to really focus on segmenting by country. And then audiences, completely skip. That's for display campaigns. Budget down here, you're going to want to start anywhere from $5 to $10 a day. Now, one of the ways you can know whether or not you should be spending $5 or $10 is you can go back to Uber Suggest and you can look at this column, CPC. This is cost per click. This is estimating how many clicks you're going to get, or how much the clicks are going to cost, right? So if we're seeing 95 cents, $1.60, 48. So $10 is going to be plenty for us to start getting some information. However, some keywords are very, very expensive. So if you're seeing $5, $6, $7, well, obviously $5 or $10 a day means you're getting 1 or 2 clicks a day, and that's not going to work out very well. So you're either going to have to find new keywords that better fit your budget, or you're going to have to dramatically increase your budget. So just a quick little tip on that. So we'll go ahead and start with $10 a day. Yeah, Google is always going to tell us to spend more money. That's okay. And then we're going to come down here to bidding and immediately go to or select your own bidding strategy and select manual CPC. So if you remember at the beginning of setting up this campaign, you had all those other types of options. This is the area where that really comes into play with Google trying to tell you how to spend your money. You always want to be in control when you're just getting started. I'm actually going to uncheck enhanced CPC. I know a lot of other people like it. I don't like it when I'm first getting started. I want to know exactly how much something costs before I let Google do their whole black box thing and start coming up with numbers that the clicks should cost. So essentially what all enhanced CPC does is it starts messing with your bids to try and get you better results. But if you're just getting started, you need a baseline. So this is great to turn on after you know what keywords are worth paying more for. And then we'll come down to show more settings. And the only thing you want to do is click here and do not optimize. You need your ads to rotate evenly. This means if you have 100 clicks, 50 clicks is going to go to ad 1, 50 clicks is going to go to ad 2, and you're going to know definitively which ad is actually working, as opposed to optimize where maybe 10 clicks goes here and 90 clicks goes here, and you go, how did you figure out this ad wasn't working after just 10 clicks? Well, Google didn't. So don't let Google optimize for you. Stay on top of it. Now, here are site link extensions. I'm actually not going to dive into this. I'll link up in the description to a more in-depth guide that goes through exactly how to come up with these, but I'll quickly show you what these are. Okay, now that it's all blown up, we can see our actual ad, which we'll go through putting together in the next step. But here, these little links at the bottom are site link extensions. And so there's lots of different types. Some are clickable, some aren't clickable. And essentially you just want to fill this out with additional information about your site. And so it's not going to be product based, it's going to be site based, and it just takes up more real estate and it gives you more opportunities for someone to actually click. It's not any extra cost to you to set those up. So let's go ahead and go back. So that's what we'll do here. We'll go ahead and click on save and continue. And now it's time to set up our ad group. So this is where that keyword research comes in. So we'll take the keywords that we found using Ubersuggest and we'll go ahead and put them into our ad groups. And so if we come back over to Ubersuggest, I just chose a couple. We'll go ahead and make this first one about sales. So we'll do mountain bike sale and for sale mountain bike, or mountain bike for sale, whatever combination you want to start with. So if we go back over to our ad group here, you'll see we have mountain bike sale, mountain bike for sale, and then I just came up with mountain bike discount. So there's 3, there's our minimum. Now there are different ways you can tell Google how strict you want to be with these keywords. So if we come down here, you can see we have broad, then we have phrase, and then we have exact. So broad means Google can pretty much, as long as it's within something related to mountain bike, it's going to show up. We don't want to do that. We're paying a lot of money. So we actually want phrase or exact, because what phrase is going to do is means mountain bike sale, some combination of those keywords need to show up. With exact, someone has to exactly type in mountain bike sale and not a word more or less. So the way that we tell Google which one we want is if we're going to be doing it for a phrase match, we go ahead and put quotation marks around our keyword. And then if we want to be exact match, we're going to go ahead and put brackets around our keyword. So I'll cut ahead to when we have a bracket version of everything and we have a phrase match of everything. And just like that, we have all of the keywords we need for this ad group. So we'd go ahead and do this 2 to 3 more times. You definitely don't want more than 30 unique keywords across your entire campaign, and that's because these words quickly multiply. So in Google's eyes, this isn't 3 keywords. This is actually 6 keywords. So it's very easy for ad groups to get really, really large when you start with 3 to 7. So let's go ahead and leave it for now. I'm going to assume that you'd make a couple more ad groups, and we'll go ahead and click on save and continue. Oh, nope. Oh, we have to set a bid. So typically what you'll do is you'll start your bid anywhere from $1 to $2 per bid. So if you are really, really on a shoestring budget and you're like, I just need this to work like now, and you're looking for those 1 or 2 keywords that are really gonna work, then start with $1. If, however, you plan on being with Google Ads long term and you see this as an investment in figuring out how you're going to make this profitable for you and your online store, then go ahead and start with $2. You can always lower it later. Google is actually going to tell you in the future exactly how much it costs to be on the first page or be on the second page or lower in the results. So typically I completely ignore this because I've never found this to actually represent reality, what comes over here on daily estimates. And so it says 8 clicks a day. I think we're going to get a lot more, especially because we've eliminated those broad match keywords that's really going to waste our budget. So we'll go ahead and click on save and continue. And this is where I think the second hardest part comes in, which is actually writing your ad. Now, the good news is you don't have to come up with what the heck you should put in your ad from scratch. The easiest way to figure out how to write an ad is to take one of your keywords and go over to Google and just see what other stores are already putting in their ads. So in this particular instance, mountain bike sale, we see bikesdirect.com, and then we'd go ahead and look at what are they saying in their headline, and then what are they saying in their actual body text. So we're looking for, are they giving discounts? What kind of offers do they have? What kind of guarantees do they have? What features are they offering? What are they putting in their ad that says, hey, we're better than the other suggestions, right? So in this particular instance, only one ad is at the top. And of course, we can always scroll down here and we'll find more ads at the bottom. So what you would do for your main keyword is look at all of these and then figure out what types of things you should talk about in your ad. Now, we aren't copying, right? This isn't permission to just straight up copy exactly what's in other people's ads. You want to draw inspiration from. Now, if you really want to get fancy with this, you can actually come over to a tool called spyfu.com. They do have a free version when you sign up for free. If you're going to be doing Google Ads long term, I highly recommend you check out the affiliate link in the description. This is something that we use quite often, and all you have to do is type in your keyword, and it's actually going to start showing you a history of the ads that have run for this keyword. We can also go in and type in specific competitors. So this is a great place if we go back over to Ubersuggest and you're looking for ideas or you're looking for more keywords, go ahead and start going to each one of these websites and taking them over to SpyFu and typing them in here. So it doesn't just have to be keywords. I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom, and then it's going to show you current ads that are running right now. Sometimes this is a lot easier to use than just going to the Google search results page. Something that is important though is there's a limit to how many you can run for free before they ask you to create your free account. So this is just a really two basic ways. Number one, just going to Google, typing in your keyword, seeing what comes up, or using this awesome tool by SpyFu to see what current ads are actually running. And you can of course also go directly by URL. So we could actually type in Bikes Direct and see all of the ads they've been running with a paid account. And jumping ahead here, I've gone ahead and created a sample ad based upon all of the ads that we were looking at for mountain bikes. So here I chose to do a percentage off. We could also say up to. Something that's really important in the e-commerce space is typically when you see ads like this that say they are up to 63% off, it'll be an exact number, which is something in psychology. You want to do an exact number, not a round number. And then also, you don't necessarily have to have all your products 63% off. There are, some ethical things there, but essentially a lot of what these people do is they will have one or two products that no one will actually buy that is that steep of a discount. So if you're wondering how people or your competitors can do that, that's typically what they're doing. So I'll leave it up to you whether or not you want to do that. I'll go ahead and say 43% off mountain bikes and frames, free shipping nationwide, because I saw that was something that was important in all the other ads, and then top rated brands. The third headline typically barely shows up, if at all. Now, something that's cool with the URL path is this is an opportunity to create urgency or scarcity. So saying something like sale, limited time offer, discount, expires soon, something like that. This is just kind of free real estate space in your ad to create some urgency and get people to actually click. And then your description should be something that backs up what is said in your headline and also adds a couple of new features, or you try and specifically call out to the person that you're looking to buy. So if you're trying to target professional mountain bikers, you would say something about professional mountain bikes, or if you're just targeting kids, you'd say kids mountain bikes. Here, I just chose to do both and put new and used because I saw a lot of other ads talking about used bikes and cheap bikes. And then the description number 2, you can go ahead and pretty much do the same thing. That hardly ever shows up. And then you can click done and create next ad. So we'll just go ahead and do that. And then we'll go ahead, click on save and continue. We can always add more ads later. We'll go ahead and click on save. So now we have our one ad. We'll click on save and continue. And with that, we will be ready to actually get into our campaign. Our campaign is complete. We've set it to $10 a day. Our number of clicks has already gone up to 9 clicks. I told you the estimates are just all over the place. Tomorrow it'll be 12. And we're going to run it for 2 weeks, United States only. We didn't select a campaign goal, and we have manual CPC. We can go ahead and click on continue to campaign, and this is what your campaign is going to look like. Hopefully you have 1 or 2 other ad groups in here, and you'll just run some traffic and you'll start making adjustments on which keywords are working and which keywords aren't. So thank you so much for watching. I sincerely hope you got some value out of this video. I will link up in the description to SpyFu. It is an affiliate link, so we do get a small commission if you decide to use the tool. Of course, you also have Neil Patel's Uber Suggest tool, which is free, and when you log in, you'll get a ton more information. So thank you so much for watching. Sincerely hope you got some value out of this video. Make sure you check out that timestamp table of contents and some other links to how to use the Google Keyword Planners tool, along with a much longer and in-depth tutorial that goes through some advanced settings inside of Google Ads once you have this campaign set up. So until the next, keep building the business you love.